Alright, welcome back everyone. What we've got here is a Bilt chipper shredder with a 10 horsepower Briggs and Stratton on it. I know absolutely nothing about it. It was given to me. A lady had two of these. She had this one and then an 8 horsepower, and she wanted them both off her property, so I obliged. Went and got them. They do have bars to hook up behind a lawnmower to where you can tow them around. It says it does up to 3-inch chipping capacity, so it seems to be a pretty stout unit. The only thing I have done so far is I threw air in it to get it from the trailer over to the garage here. So it looks to be in pretty good shape. So let's start turning wrenches. One of the first things I always like to check is the gas tank. Let me get a light here. Not sure if you guys will be able to see it. Can't really see in there too much, but let me get a... Yeah, it definitely smells very old. So that gas has got to come out of there. So we'll definitely drain that. Not sure how long it's set. I don't think it has water in it, but just based on the cap of the way that it is sealed. Throttle lever seems kind of stiff, so may have to work on that. Fuel shutoff at least turns, not sure if it works. And the choke seems like it moves across the spectrum. It's got a spring type setup on it. I'll show you that whenever we get them open, or at least that's what I'm assuming it is. A lot of them are that way. And let's see if we can't find the oil. Alright, here it is. Well, it has oil. I can say at least that. It has oil. Not sure how much it is. It looks like it is a little below the threads. So we are going to need to get some oil in this thing before we mess around with it. But it does have a little bit in it for now. Alright, let's take a look at the air filter. Alright, well, looks like water has at least got into the bottom section of this air filter. It doesn't look like it's gone up into it. The air filter wasn't in that bad of shape, but let's see. Okay. It does turn over. That's a good sign. Alright, let's see if there's some sort of disengage for the drive unit, and then so I can try to pull it and see if we've got any spark. Alright, took a look. There does not look to be any disengagement for the chipper shredder portion, so we're just going to try to take this throttle apart so we can take a look at it. And maybe we also gotta try to do something with this pull rope. Looks like there's two oils. One is probably for the drive unit. The other one is for the motor. Alright, trying to get this cover off for the throttle, and that is a tight window in there. Alright, next. Choke is working. Alright, let's just see. Jeez. I want to knock the camera over. Alright, well, we've got spark. Coil rope is an issue, but we seem to have spark. Alright, let's get that spark plug out. Alright, if you look there, you can see, looks like it was burning pretty clean, maybe a little lean, but it looks like it's doing okay. So we're going to dribble some fuel in it and see if we can't get it to kick over. Alright, let's see if we can't spray a little bit on these linkages. I like to put a little bit of two-stroke. If you haven't, if a motor hasn't been started up in a long time, the little bit of fuel that's two-stroke is not going to hurt anything. Put a little bit in there. It'll lubricate that top end, and it'll you know, not damage anything. Hey. Got some compression, or we got some smoke. Alright, let's try this again. I got it reset up with some fuel in the carburetor again, so we can try to give it another pull. Last time it looked like it was trying to fire. It gave us some smoke out the exhaust, but it shot out a bunch of mud, so we'll see what it does. All right, cool. It's a runner. Hey, one thing that I've never used one of these, but one thing that's kind of uneasy is, I guess maybe it doesn't have a clutch system. It shot out a bunch of stuff there again. I did try to clean it out, but it looks like it shot out even more. So who knows, what all's down in this thing. But it looks like it's worth it to try to take this thing apart and clean it up and get it back into service. So let me get set up better. We'll start tearing this thing apart, and then we'll go from there. All right. This thing fired off so easy. I'm all over the place today. I'm gonna bypass some processes here, and I'm going to disconnect this fuel line. Just when you thought it was safe to bypass a process. I don't know if you guys can see that right there where I am pointing to, but that fuel pickup is completely clogged. Alright, so it's actually been a couple of months since I last took a look at this. Springtime, we do a lot of planting, and summer, and we do end up doing some just more outdoor stuff, and I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I know when I left off, this thing has a clogged fuel line that is completely caked full of stuff, and we are going to get this thing back to where we can try to fire it up. So, not sure if you can see that, but if you look right here, you can see, almost if I can't focus it, you can see that line is completely clogged. So hopefully we can end up, getting it back to being clear, so we can get some fuel in this thing. Got the fuel line disconnected. Looks like it's mostly in this elbow, so hoping we'll be able to pop that off. This might be threaded. Alright, I'm going to have to get the right tool and see if we can get that unthreaded. Okay. Yeah, this thing is sufficiently gooey, but it's coming apart with, without really any problems. Okay. Guide spring here, or the little spring, goes on the outside hole. Make sure you guys remember that, so that way when I forget it and I ask you about it, you can tell me. Okay. Alright, so let's get this over to the bench and we'll get it cleaned up here. Alright. So, just looking at the screws, I don't know if somebody's been in here before us, but we will see what we see. Get a load of that there. See if we can't focus in on that. Obviously it smells rank, but sufficiently disgusting. Alright, let's get this carburetor apart. Float looks good. Needle looks okay. Spring's good. Whenever you're cleaning your carburetor, you want to make sure that you don't hit this rubber tip with carb cleaner. It'll swell it and make it fall off that stud. But if I can get a little bit in the back there, I'll get a little bit in there. I mean, it's pretty free, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Spring's right in the middle. There's our clog. If you look right there, you can see the clog. So we're going to run a wire brush through that port, get that cleaned up. These pickups here look good. The rest of it looks pretty good, so it looks like it most likely set with bad gas in it, and someone didn't necessarily try to run it with bad gas. So this O-ring has got passageways that run everywhere around it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to leave this in place and clean it where it's at. Because if those were to swell, choke plate's a little stiff, we'll get that freed up. But yeah, let's get this thing cleaned up. Alright, let me get a paper towel and I'll be right back. So this is probably the most clogged I've ever seen a fuel line by far. I'm hoping we're going to be able to get that unclogged. I've been thinking about buying an ultrasonic cleaner, and I think this is going to be the perfect reason to do so. Because this will just probably not be able to get clear without it. Oh, might have just got it through the backside there. Alright, I'm going to get this cleaned up and I'll bring you back in just a little bit. Alright, so after a brief pause for station identification, I had to go get an ultrasonic cleaner, and this is a perfect opportunity to use one for it. So I wanted to go and get it. Because this is just gummed up. Pretty bad gummed up fuel in here. So getting it, getting the ultrasonic cleaner, hopefully it'll make get it really nice, Clark. Favorite Christmas movie? Mine, I would definitely say, without a doubt, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I have quoted that movie more in my life than probably just about any other movie. Between that one and My Cousin Vinny. Probably two of my favorite movies. Well, that's a jet, and that jet is just absolutely clogged. I'm going to try to clear it a little bit with this. Yeah, got it poked through. And then let the cleaner, ultrasonic cleaner, do the rest. Wow, that's just pushing out all kinds of stuff. Well, we gotta get that scraped out. Look at that. I mean, that's just... I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera, but that is just absolutely caked in there. You guys like Harbor Freight? I love the store. I think for the most part, if you're not doing it, you know, day in, day out, then by all means, you know, like if you're just a occasional project person, or you know, you're just doing light work, that Harbor Freight stuff is excellent for the weekender. But if you know, if you're doing it day in and day out, you need to spend the money on some quality tools. I've never used an ultrasonic cleaner for cleaning carburetors. I used them in the military for cleaning instruments and indicators for the aircraft, but I've never used one for cleaning a carburetor. I have seen it on the YouTube, other people doing it, and it seems to be the way to go. So I was already planning on getting one, and this carburetor is definitely a good one to do it with. Okay. See if we see any jets here. See if we can't get this jet off. If we can't, I'm just going to leave well enough alone, but if we can... Oh, and it broke. Pop that right out. I didn't quite break it, but it definitely tweaked it a little bit, so I'm just going to put it back. Maybe I'll get a little bit here and see if I can't pop it out of there. Let me get a pair of pliers real quick. Alright, let's see. Alright, not messing with it. It's going in the way that it is. It is not wanting to come, and I do not have another one of those, so I am not wanting to break it. That's just your idle stop there. Choke lever. You can see looking down in there, if you look, I'm not sure if it's coming up, but those jets back there are decently clogged, so we'll see. I'm not entirely sure that jet is supposed to come out of there. I would think it does, but who knows? Not me. I don't know. Alright, it's all getting cleaned. I need to get me one of those little tea things for my small parts. But for now, I think they're all gonna go down in there. Alright, I'm gonna pop these in the ultrasonic cleaner and give it a go. Alright, well that's in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm gonna try to get this cleaned up just a little bit, enough to where it's not going to have anything flying off into the carburetor. Then I'm going to hit that with some carb cleaner, and I think we'll be good on that. Alright, one of the next things I was going to deal with was getting this gas tank off here. Looks like it's the favorite 10mm again. You guys probably heard me talk about how much stuff uses a 10mm, and it is. I'll get this tank off. Need to get that out of there, spray it out with some carb cleaner. Don't want to reinfect it. Because believe it or not, I actually need this item. I was gonna just pass this along to somebody else, but you know, I was thinking about it, and we got some stuff we can use it for. So get this thing cleaned up, and it'll go into the personal inventory. And there's two on the back. All right. That is just nasty down in there, so we'll spray that out. Alright, I'm going to get some compressed air in here and we'll get this blown out. I want to take a look at that pull cord, but also I see this kill wire is not on there, and you got stop here, so my guess is that kill wire plugs in to something probably that has been disconnected. Either way, let's get this off. I was a aviation electrician in the Marine Corps, and never used power tools. Always used hand tools. And probably because with power tools you probably have the tendency to over torque, strip bolts out, and pretty much everything we do has a torque spec. Alright, so the blowing it out didn't do anything for for this, but we have repaired these in the past. All right, so we got it out of the thing. Put the O-ring back on there. It came off. Got the thing. It did decently good. There's a lot of built up junk in there, but it did a good job of getting it out. That sits down in there. So that's working nice now. That needle valve. Pop that on. There we go. So, as Musty One says, the way that he checks his, and he's pretty good at making sure they're right whenever it happens, is blow through it. It's already leaking, I can tell you that. It should shut off whenever it goes back. It's not. So, that fuel's not going to shut off on this. Oh well. Let me try it again with the pressure down on the diaphragm here. Maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you got to have that down. There's a shoulder in there on this side here that goes in, and you have to have that in place. Oop. Well, not what I intended to do there. Okay. Get this back where it needs to be. This spring goes here. Like so. And this goes on. Throw this back together. So get in there, hold it upside down, and it's not. Alright. Carburetor's good. I think I'm going to rinse just a little bit of gas through this. There's still a little bit of moisture in there. I'm going to shake it up and drain a little bit of gas into a jar and just kind of rinse out, see if there's any last little bits of water. And then I'm going to start putting it back together. It's all working good. Alright, I think we're ready to put back on the gas tank. Alright, before we put the rest on, you can see this breather hose is all kinds of cracked, so I'm going to see what I can't do to find another one. Alright, so I found one. It's not, I mean it's close, so I think I'm going to try it and see if I can make it work. Let's see if we can't get this to work. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Alright, so that's not going to work. What I'll do is I'll wrap it with some black tape, and then I'll end up getting a new one. Alright, went ahead and just wrapped it up with some electrical tape. Ready to throw the filter on the front here. Alright, so got it back together, and I'm gonna give it a shot. Everything's on. I guess it works. Well, my camera's fogging up on me out here. It's a couple days later. I just wanted to sign off and thank you guys for watching. And remember, you can't fix anything if you ain't out there turning wrenches.